Welcome to my review of the Stihl BGA 56 battery leaf blower. So we picked this machine up in about May of this year to replace our Husqvarna 525BX petrol leaf blower, which I've done a review of and I will put a card to it. It was struggling to start, so we wanted something to replace it, and we wanted to go down the line of battery tools. The tool itself comes in at eye-watering £109, or in a kit form for £200, which includes the AK20 battery and the AL101 slow charger. I think this is a very good way of buying it. It's very cost effective. I would always buy a second battery. We bought the AK30 to give us the maximum runtime. Talking of runtime, all battery blowers have fairly poor battery performance and runtime, and this one, to be honest, is no different. For the AK10 battery, which I wouldn't recommend at all, is 10 minutes, the AK20 about 20 minutes, and again the AK30 is about 30 minutes. Having said all of that, it is amazing how much blowing you can get done in 30 minutes. The batteries are Stihl's 36 volt AK battery series, is targeted at the domestic market. It has a max airspeed of 120 miles an hour, which is quite impressive and does a very good job of shifting pretty much anything you want. The weight of the unit, including the AK20 battery, is 3.3 kilos, which is very nice and light, certainly compared to any petrol equivalent, which are nearer 5 or 5.5 kilos, and it's balanced very well with the AK20 battery. So the machine is balanced on the handle slightly to the back, towards the battery, but as you pull the trigger, it pulls down slightly. Noise figures on this, again, are considerably lower than petrol tools, are 79 decibels, which is very nice and low. I would still recommend using ear protection whilst using this, despite that low level sound. We have the adjustable nozzle, pretty standard, 3 stages, again, but that reduces the space when you need to store it, and then you can expand it and it's more powerful. So, as always with all blowers, useful feature. This also has what Stihl call a 2-stage battery slot. This acts as the on-off switch for the machine, as it doesn't actually have a physical on-off switch. In this position, the battery is locked, but the machine cannot work. It's a good little feature that makes sure that the machine is not going to go off in the van or something when you touch the trigger. It also means you're able to store the battery in the tool, which again is quite a nice feature, saves on storage space. And all you have to do to get it working is simply click it in, and then the machine works. And again, just pop it out, clip it in, very simple. The clip is nice and strong. I haven't had a problem with the battery popping out or anything, even if it's clunked around or bumped around in the van, absolutely fine, solid as a rock. Also, another feature that I do like about this machine is the fact that it has the fan mounted at the back of the machine, which means that it can be used by left or right-handed people. A lot of petrol tools, including my Husqvarna 525BX, the fan was on one side or the other of the tool, and if you happen to be the wrong hand for that tool, it'd end up sucking up your trousers. This one, as long as you keep it to the side of you, you don't have a problem with it sucking up your trousers or anything like that. And of course, it means that you can swap hands if one hand's getting tired in a hand. So that's of course a nice feature, and it makes it truly accessible to everyone. And trousers are safe everywhere. The wonderful thing about battery tools is of course the low maintenance and running costs of this. You can charge the batteries off the mains, or as we do, we use a solar panel, so we don't pay anything for the electricity. And of course the maintenance on this is very, very small. we've just given it a wipe over and that's all the maintenance. So it saves you a lot of time and of course a lot of money, as petrol tool services cost anything from about £40 to £100. So something like this pays for itself very quickly, and of course there's no worry about leaving this for a period of time. You could leave it for a year, it really doesn't matter. Just pop the battery in the charger and away you go. Now, onto a few things that I think aren't so good about the machine. Of course, power isn't as good as, say, even the cheapest petrol blower, but it's not really aimed at that market. It's not really for that, and I'll come to that a little bit later on. The build quality isn't quite as good as some of the other Stihl tools that I've used, including the 94T, which I've done a video on and I'll link in the card. The panel gaps are a little bit wider, it's a bit plasticky, and the trigger's a little bit, it's a little bit not that nice to use. So, but the whole machine only comes in at just about £100, so you have to take that with a pinch of salt. It's also not waterproof, as far as I'm aware. Again, this is not really a problem as long as you be sensible with it. I've used it in small amounts of rain and it's been fine. So I think as long as you don't stick it in a puddle, you're going to be absolutely fine. But it's something that some of the more professional models are waterproof, and that gives you that little bit of peace of mind that you can use it whenever you want to. The machine also has no variable trigger, but again, it's only a small thing, and to be honest, you can kind of vary the trigger by just controlling the trigger on and off, and really you don't need it on a machine of this power, so not really a problem, but some people like to have that sort of feature. Also, on a tiny point, the footprint of the machine is a little bit narrow. As you can see, I can move it very easily, and this just means that if you put it down, it tends to fall over. Again, it's not a major thing, but if you like your tools and you don't want them to get scratched, this can be a little bit of an annoyance. But as I say, tiny little thing. My final thoughts on the machine. If you're a professional gardener, this isn't a replacement for your petrol blower. I still think it has a home in your van. The convenience of battery tools just make it so versatile. This one works perfectly for blowing off borders, blowing off hard standing areas onto the lawn so you can collect it up with your mower, getting rid of the strimming debris from edging, blowing off your mower, keeping your mower tidy, cleaning your van or tidying up the garage, all of these sort of things. The convenience of battery tools just make it perfect for it, and meant that I haven't needed to pick up a petrol tool. Of course, the caveat to that is, now it's coming into autumn, I will be converting back to my petrol backpack blower, which again I've done a video on, my Makita backpack blower, which I'll link in the cards. This machine isn't really powerful enough to professionally blow leaves and do it economically, so I wouldn't really bother, just go back to your petrol tools. But again, Stihl do offer, and other brands do offer, more powerful electric machines which are perfectly capable of doing leaves, so check out those ones. As I say, this is primarily for just those small little jobs and over the summer when you really just need to tidy up after your work. So as I say, this machine is really primarily targeted at the domestic market, and that's where it really excels. It's perfect for blowing off any hard standing areas, your garage or your car even. So I think Stihl have done a very good job of combining passable battery performance with power and of course convenience. So there you go, there's my review of the Stihl BGA 56 electric leaf blower. Hope you found it useful. If you did, give us a thumbs up, and if you've got any comments or questions about the machine, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. That just leaves me to say thanks again for watching. Bye for now.